And the founder of the far-right Oath Keepers organization, Stewart Rhodes, has testified in his own defense today at his seditious conspiracy trial here in Washington. The court is in recess now for the day, but Rhodes is expected to be back on the stand Monday. Joining us now is NBC Justice reporter Ryan Riley and Glenn Kirshner, former federal prosecutor, who are both outside the courthouse and have been following this trial throughout. Ryan, first to you. Have we heard so far, what have we heard, let's say, from Stewart Rhodes? This is his first chance to testify publicly.
You know, that's right. So we only got really about 45 minutes of testimony. It's essentially a lot of testimony from Stewart Rhodes talking about how great Stewart Rhodes is. He's been pretty jovial on the stand. He made a joke early on about how his full name is Elmer Stewart Rhodes III, and he goes by Stewart for obvious reasons, he said. He basically just talked about how the Oath Keepers was founded, how it got started. He talked about his time at Yale Law School, talked a little about his military background. He made sure to point out that his mother was half Mexican and tried to basically combat any suggestions that the Oath Keepers are a racist organization, and said that they, don't like racist. So essentially, he's trying to, I think, get familiar with the jury and sort of distance himself from a lot of the really damning testimony that prosecutors have gotten in this case thus far. And, key of which is this tape that they got from Stewart Rhodes after the January 6th attack, talking about how they should have brought rifles that day, how he wishes he could hang Nancy Pelosi from a lamppost. So I think he's really going to have to make an effort to sort of undemonize himself with the jury here. But it's going to be a tough battle for him. And I think especially what will be the most interesting will be Monday when federal prosecutors get their chance to put a lot of this to the test and actually cross-examine Stewart Rhodes on the stand.
And Glenn, Rhodes talked, about watching the 9/11 coverage when he was in law school, his motivation for starting the Oath Keepers, he said, and also about George Floyd's murder. So expand on this. What is he trying to do? Humanize himself?
He is. So the first hour of his testimony is sort of the honeymoon period with the jury. He's trying to establish a rapport and trying to tell the jury a little bit about who he is or who he sees himself to be. I will say, on the one hand, Elmer Stewart Rhodes is coming across as a smart, articulate person and witness, but on the other hand, he's also coming across as an arrogant, self-important, almost grandiose figure. It's remarkable because he's trying to give the jury a tutorial about how to police, how to conduct law enforcement operations, yet he's never been law enforcement. He also was saying that the Oath Keepers would go to protests and their presence would, quote, embarrass, his word, law enforcement that was working those same protests, because the Oath Keepers knew so much better and performed so much better. But I think the most remarkable bit of his testimony thus far, Andrea, was when his attorney asked him, do you believe the vote was stolen, the election was stolen? He said, I believe the election was invalid, unconstitutional. And he said, even before we get to fraud, what the state election officials and legislators were doing during COVID, changing the rules and protocols, made the election, in his opinion, invalid and unconstitutional. That's foreshadowing for what we can expect to hear from Elmer Stewart Rhodes beginning on Monday about why he did what he did.